Most people pay for water as if it only exists in pipes, wells, and plastic bottles. Meanwhile, the air around your house is holding water right now. And with a simple $12 frame, you can start pulling some of it out overnight. No power bill, no motor, no compressor, no fancy machine humming in the background, just mesh, a frame, gravity, and air doing what air has always done. By sunrise, water is dripping into that trough like someone left a faucet running all night. Because in a way, they did. That water came straight out of the air while you were asleep. You already know the principle. You've seen it your whole life. It's condensation on a cold glass. It's dew on the grass before sunrise. It's moisture hanging on a spiderweb in the early morning light. That's water leaving the air because the surface it touched got cold enough to take it. So the real question isn't whether this works. The real question is why almost nobody is collecting that water on purpose. Here's the whole thing in plain English. Air holds moisture. Warm air holds more of it. Cool air holds less. So when the temperature drops overnight and moving air touches a cooler surface, some of that invisible moisture condenses into liquid water. First, tiny droplets form. Then they merge. Then they get heavy enough for gravity to pull them down. That's the whole system. You are not making water. You are giving airborne moisture somewhere to land, somewhere to gather, and somewhere to drip. So the goal is simple. Create a large surface. Keep air moving through it. Angle it so water rolls downward. Catch the runoff. Here's the full build list. A 6 by 6 foot section of shade cloth or fine mesh. About $5. You want a tighter weave, not a wide sports net. Think closer to screen material than open rope. The mesh is where the collection happens, so this is the one place worth choosing carefully. 4 pieces of 1-inch PVC pipe for the frame. About $2 or $3 total if you're using cheap lengths or scrap. Zip ties. You probably already have some. A plastic gutter section or shallow trough to catch the runoff, another $3 to $4. And a couple of bricks, rocks or blocks to hold the angle. That's basically the whole build. Build the frame first. A simple rectangle is enough. Roughly 4 feet tall and 3 feet wide works well, but the exact dimensions aren't sacred. It just needs to hold shape, stay upright, and survive light wind. PVC is perfect because it's cheap, light, and easy to cut. Make the rectangle, secure the corners, done. Now stretch the mesh across the frame and pull it tight. And I mean tight. Loose mesh hurts performance. If it sags, droplets sit too long, pool up, and evaporate back off instead of running down cleanly. You want tension across the whole surface so every droplet has a path downward. Zip tie it all along the edges. Every few inches is fine. Think of it less like hanging fabric and more like tightening a drum. Now here's the mistake people make the first time. They leave it flat. Don't. Flat mesh may collect droplets, but it also lets them sit there. Once morning heat shows up, part of that water just goes right back into the air. Tilt the frame. 15 to 30 degrees is enough. That angle is what turns condensation into actual collection. The droplets form, merge, roll downhill, hit the bottom edge, and fall into the trough underneath. Placement matters more than most people expect. Face it into the breeze. You want air moving through the mesh, not skimming around it. The more moist night air passes through that surface, the more chances you create for condensation. Get it slightly off the ground too. Even a foot helps. Air close to the ground behaves differently and is often less useful for this than air moving a little higher up. And keep it away from wherever the first direct morning sun hits hardest. You want dew to build through the whole night and still be sitting in the trough at dawn, not flashing off before you wake up. So the routine is simple. Set it up before sunset, leave it alone overnight, check it at dawn. That's it. No switches, no moving parts, no power draw. Now let's keep this honest. Don't expect miracles on an average night in average conditions from a small frame. A setup this size might give you around half a litre on a normal night. In better humidity, better airflow, coastal conditions, river valleys, or places with regular morning fog, people can collect a litre, 2 litres, sometimes more. And once you scale the mesh up, the numbers get much more interesting. Go from 6 by 6 feet to something closer to 10 by 10, and now you're not looking at a curiosity anymore. You're looking at a meaningful daily supplement. Not fantasy, not hype. Just more surface area in better conditions. This is where it becomes more than a backyard experiment. A family of 4 needs roughly 2 litres of drinking water per person per day. That doesn't mean a small collector like this instantly replaces your full household supply. What it does mean is that the principle scales. Bigger mesh, better placement, better climate, better output. And once you think about it that way, this stops being free water theatre and starts becoming a real low-cost backup system, a supplement, a resilience tool, a way to pull useful water from the air without infrastructure or a monthly bill. Now the obvious question, can you drink it? Atmospheric water starts relatively clean compared with surface runoff because it hasn't touched soil, farm drainage or old plumbing. But once you collect it on mesh and into a trough, you still want to clean it before treating it like drinking water. The simple version is easy. Run it through a basic gravity filter made from cotton, activated charcoal and fine sand. That helps remove particulates and improves the water noticeably. And if you want extra caution, boil it. That's the straightforward answer. The point isn't pretending it's magically perfect the second it drips into the trough. The point is that you can collect it cheaply, clean it simply, and turn air moisture into something useful with almost no infrastructure. And this is the part that sticks with me. This idea is old. Communities in dry coastal regions have used fog collection for generations. Mountain cultures understood long ago that air itself could become a water source under the right conditions. Then plumbing spread. Municipal water became normal. Pipes got buried. The tap became the default. And once that happened, this kind of knowledge stopped feeling urgent. Not wrong, not useless, just forgotten. Until you need it again. That's also why this matters financially. A lot of modern atmospheric water solutions try to industrialize something the environment already does for free. They add compressors, fans, housings, electronics, and price tags to match. This skips all of that. One hardware store trip, one simple frame, about $12. And if it gives you even a modest overnight yield where you live, that is a very cheap return for a system with no power bill and almost nothing to break. Water is just one piece of the puzzle. There are dozens more systems like this for water, food, energy and materials. Practical ways to cut the recurring costs that quietly drain your wallet month after month. If that's the kind of thing you want more of, subscribe and keep more of your own money.